Evening. Thought I'd better start filming something as soon as I've been here since about midday, and it's now, I don't know, 8:30, 9 o'clock. The light is rapidly going, so I thought I'd better film it before shit gets too dark and I can't show you anything. But I've been doing loads of stuff today. To be honest, you know what I've done most of, and I can't show you because there's nothing to show, is walking around looking at the cars and thinking and working out all the little bits and pieces that I still needed to order that I haven't, because I got to a stage where I've realised, well, not realised, but I was thinking, hang on, I haven't got anything left to buy. And that's not me with cars, there's always shit to buy. So I thought, no, it can't be right. So I spent probably a couple of hours, honestly, looking at the Corolla and the MX5 in like real detail, thinking of all the little things. And lo and behold, there was fucking loads of it, and I ended up spending about 500 quid, but all on things that probably cost on average about 50, but it turns out it was quite a few. So there you go. But I've done actual work too, so let me show you. Let's start with the MX5. I'll tell you what, let me get a torch, because the light is fucking off. Right, yes, MX5. What have I done? Absolutely fuck all in the engine bay, unfortunately. Just working out things I needed to buy, this, that, the other, but no changes there. But some changes on the interior. I will show you. Sort of mostly finishing bits and pieces. I painted the center console bit black. Not very well. Basically, it was painted red when I got the car. It looked fucking appalling, and it was reacting and turning. It was not a good paint job, so I quickly painted it black to see what it looked like and trimmed some of the bits off the bottom, which I don't need now, is because I'm not putting this center bit back in, and it looks all right. So job done there. And one of the probably better things that I've done, which I didn't imagine, was, I think I've mentioned it previously in these videos, is because of obviously the cage and the door bars, I was going to have to fab up some kind of door pull, because the standard door handles won't fit. Well, turns out I was fucking wrong, because they do fit. They fit perfectly. Absolutely, I couldn't believe it. Literally, I am very lucky I didn't throw the fuckers away. I would have thrown them away, but I didn't. I can't remember why I didn't. And then I saw them over there when I was looking at various parts, and I was like, you know what, I didn't really fancy spending on some aftermarket things, because it's like 30 quid for a fucking loop of leather. It's like, no thanks. So I wondered if I could modify the standard ones. So I thought I'd fit them up, see what hits. Turns out nothing. It's absolutely fucking perfect. So yeah, both sides have now got the door handles still. So that's awesome. So, which is good, because of these door stiffener things and the cage and the buckets and all that, it takes some effort to open and close the doors. They're pretty stiff. So I needed a decent handle, and now I've got the factory ones. So that is awesome. You see my windy windows too. So yeah, that's done. What else have I done? Obviously that's the center console, painted quite badly at the moment, but it was just to check. Oh, I did this. Started mocking up how the digital dash is going to be, and so far looks bloody good. Basically what I did, I thought I'd just make a some kind of backing plate for the, you know, the clock surround to mount it. And then I looked at the original clocks and realised I could rip them apart to just end up with the black surround, which normally is attached to the clocks, not this surround. So I ripped off all the bits to just make it to the black surround and nothing else. All the plastic, all the clear, all the chrome rings around the dials and all that bollocks, and brought it back to that. And then with some careful gluing and fucking about, it's a really nice back for this Digi Dash. So now I can literally bolt the Digi Dash to the back of that, and I've got a secure thing. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So yeah, the interior's coming along nice. Obviously we got carbon seats, carbon Sparker racing seats, Volvo harness pads to confuse people, windy windows, standard door handles, door bars, everything. So yeah, interior is coming along well. I don't know what's going in that center console yet, if anything. I don't know. I'm sure there'll be some extra gauges and shit I need that I'll end up putting there. I'm not sure. I'm going to put the vent things back. I've still got them. I just haven't put them back in. This tape measure is I was working out what I was going to do with radiator fans, and it turns out, again, this is part of the beauty of having a rear mounted radiator. There's a ton of room. So look on the SPAL, is it SPAL? SPAL, or do you call it SPAL or SPAL? I don't know, whatever it is, but SPAL. The fan people, the people that do the badass expensive fans. They've got all like the CFM ratings and sizes and everything for all their fans. And they do, there's a couple of fans that they do. They could fit two of these side by side, because I think they're about 330 wide and this is 660. But they are literally twice the flow of all the other 330 diameter fans that they got. And obviously their 330 diameter fans are way better flow than 99% of these Chinese whatever ones that all over eBay that most people run. So even the normal ones are probably fine, but because of the room I've got here, I can run two of the ones that are double the flow. And the reason they're double the flow is because they are twice as fucking thick. They're like 4 inches deep. So in most cars, you won't have a hope in hell of mounting them because things will be in the way. But in the boot, I've got tons of room. So I can run a pair of those. I think they're like 6, I don't know. I think they're nearly 1700 CFM each, if I remember right. So yeah, I can run two of them. They ain't cheap, you know, they're bloody expensive as fans go, but I think it's something that's worth spending on. What else? Corolla. Again, I spent a lot of time today on the Corolla, not doing anything that you can see, purely working things out, like what I needed to buy, this, that, the other. Turns out the radiator, because I wanted a different radiator, because that one's it's fine, it's a bit tatty and a bit old, and it's standard. Old plastic end capped radiators have a habit of exploding when they get old and brittle. So I thought, fuck it, I'm going to buy an alley one. The question was, what the hell is that radiator? I didn't know if it was a standard one or what, and it looks OEM fit, as in the way it's all mounted and all that shit. So I didn't have a clue. Luckily, I just went on eBay and looked at pictures, and it is, and it's good because that's exactly what I'd like it to be. It's a ST202, so the later Celica GT4 radiator, which is fucking perfect for obviously that engine. Bought an alley aftermarket one. It's a bit thicker than standard, but it won't mess up, you know, room to fit a turbo. And obviously it's less likely to explode and more likely to, well, maybe cool a bit better too. So, winner. Another thing I've done is I've realised the inlet I've got over there, the one that was coming with that engine, is a slightly later one than this, and better too. It's a Gen 3 one. I think that must be a Gen 2. That's got a 55mm throttle. That's a Gen 3 with a 60mm throttle. But while I've been doing a lot of research on throttles, and I've learned something. Basically, I know for a fact even a 50mm throttle will do like 500 odd brake. A 60mm throttle will do shitloads, and I know a 70mm will do you know, 1,000 plus. I've seen it. So all these people, you know, I've often been like, why the fuck are these people going like 100 mil throttles? Are they stupid? And yeah, they are stupid because they're just guessing. You know, they've not put any theory into this. They're just thinking, oh, big throttle, you know, blah, blah, blah. But after doing a lot of research, there is a useful reason. Again, I don't know the exact science behind it. I can only speculate. But if you look for tests on throttle body size on a boosted engine, there aren't many tests out there. Hence, most people are just fucking guessing. And the problem with guessing is you've got people like me who, obviously, I don't like going too big a throttle because you lose throttle control. You know, the smallest opening is a large amount of air difference. So I go smallest possible that I know can do the power. And like I said, even a single 60 mil throttle can do 600 plus horsepower, probably a fair bit more. Well, 650 plus and probably a fair bit more. Boosted application, of course. But it turns out there's more to it than that most people don't realise, and the only way of really knowing would be to fucking test. And I saw a test recently, and it was on a 450-ish, 450, 500 brake, I can't remember, something like that. 4-cylinder, turbo, of course. And they was testing throttle sizes from 60 to, I don't fucking know, 90 something. And none of them, understandably, the power didn't actually increase much. It did a bit more than I thought it would. I don't think it made no fucking difference. But they was, you know, they was gaining like, I think they might have been 10 horsepower between, you know, minimum and maximum. But there was something else that I've never seen, and I would never have thought of. But the main difference was, for some reason, the 60 mil throttle, even though it doesn't kill power, seems to kill power with high RPM. And on the 60 mil throttle, it made whatever it made, 500 odd, at like 6,700 RPM. But with the bigger throttle, I think anything above 70, it didn't seem to affect it. Basically 70 plus was all similar peak power. Suddenly it was revving out to, I think peak was suddenly 7.3, which is like 600 RPM more. And it was basically holding the power. You see the graphs, it was just holding it a lot longer. And yeah, that's quite weird, because like I said, it wasn't restricting power. It was just restricting power at RPM. The exact science reason for that, I don't know, and obviously nor do they. You can only theorize. But my theory is, yeah, while throttle size will dictate the maximum power full stop, you can go, it seems, a lot bigger to help higher RPM power way before that level of maximum flow choke out. And I'm guessing it's going to have something to do with plenum size. It's going to be related to plenum size, I would guess, and RPM, certainly. So the higher the RPM and probably the smaller the plenum, probably, I don't know. I'm guessing the bigger the throttle you will need for any given power. That's my guess. That's my theory. I don't know in reality, but what I do know is from that test, and that test says to me I ain't having a 60 mil throttle. So, but I don't want to change the plenum, the inlet manifold, because A, is money, B, I think it's quite good, generally the design. So I'm ordered a much bigger throttle. Basically it's going to be too big. I think it's I can't remember how big it is. It's less than 100 mil, but it's a much bigger throttle, and I think that will, well, it will, going by this test, solve the issues. I expect a bigger plenum with a smaller throttle would do the same. Probably, don't know, never seen it tested. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to change, you know, it's tight in the engine bay, so I don't want to change the inlet when I don't have to. And like I said, I go to a side feed Caldina, it doesn't increase plenum size really. And like I said as well, a lot of these aftermarket ones with big plenums that I've seen for these are fucking appalling. It's like you've got like just a shoebox attached to some runners. It's crap. It's just, it's like pays no attention to flow, just capacity. So yeah, fuck that. In other news, you probably wouldn't have noticed because it's so fucking nicely hidden now, but this front bumper, the 5-inch thick GT-R intercooler, is actually behind it now. It's not mounted up yet though. I mean, it's like, I still need to do a little bit of trimming behind, but it's gonna fit behind the standard bumper, no bother. In the previous video I shown you it up, but the front bumper was sort of much further forward, probably an inch or so further forward, but now the intercooler is far further back, like right back against the lower chassis rail. And I've trimmed, there's like a, see this bit here, on the inside there's like a little strengthening bit which obviously would hit the intercooler, so I trimmed that off and I've just placed it there just to see. And I think there's going to be a little bit more trimming needs doing. I haven't checked where it touches yet, and basically it's going to fit. Let me pull this off and I will show you. Oh, I've got hiccups. Ta-da. It's in place. It's literally just resting on some wood and some turbo flanges, but it's in the right place. Literally up high, but higher. The bottom is level with the bottom of the bumper, it don't hang down. And most importantly, both sides now there is room for 3-inch boost pipes to go whoop up there on both sides, and I achieved that thanks to the wonders of an angle grinder and some choppy. Really easy. I've literally cut the corners where the bottom, the lower front cross member attaches to the chassis rail either side. I'll add a plate to plate it back in, but in all honesty what I've removed looks like it doesn't really have any much, if any, strength, to be fair, but just because I'll add a plate to regain, well, I'll probably end up with more fucking strength than them things were. So yeah, both sides now, it's gonna be able to go behind the front bumper, up into there, over there that side, turbo outlet will go to there. Good times. Yeah, it's hard to imagine like a 5-inch thick, I mean look, it really is, I'm not fucking about it, it's 5 inches thick, a 5-inch thick Skyline GT-R drag intercooler that these cars with, like, you know, fucking 1400 plus horsepower run will fit behind the stock, well, stock looking front bumper of a fucking Corolla G6 1.3. That's not a 1.3 anymore. So yeah, hope you like this video. Make sure you click like. I think that's probably more important than commenting anything. I think Facebook likes to promote videos more when they've got a lot of likes for any given amount of views they've got. So say if you've got like 50 views and every fucker presses like, they push it more than they would if it had 50 views and nobody clicked like. Do you know what I mean? As in, to people who aren't already subscribers. If you're already subscribed, obviously they can't push it to you, but to random people, you know, on these YouTube recommendations that's all over the place,